One of the hardest and most confusing parts of healing is the loneliness that comes with it. Not because you don't have people around you, but because you start seeing everything differently. You start outgrowing conversations, environments, and even people who you once felt very deeply connected to. And what hurts the most isn't always what people did. It's just realizing you no longer need an explanation from them to move forward. Mm-mm. You stop needing closure. You stop needing them to understand you. And for the first time in your life, your peace is no longer dependent on anyone else. Okay? But nobody really talks about how lonely that phase can feel. Healing will change your internal world first. Okay? The inside of you. Your tolerance shifts, your awareness, it starts to expand, and suddenly things that once felt normal, they just don't feel aligned anymore. And not because you feel like you're better than anyone, but because you're different now. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. You're just different now. And that's okay. You're no longer operating from survival. You're honestly operating from awareness. It's like I see you. And awareness creates distance before it creates alignment. And sometimes that can be hard to for people to understand. And I remember there was a time when I needed closure. I needed explanations, I needed apologies, I needed people to understand how they hurt me. Because when you're still healing, you believe closure comes from other people. You believe peace comes from them finally saying the right thing, finally acknowledging your pain, and finally like validating your experience. But healing, it changes that, guys. You start realizing that closure was never something they could give you. Closure is something that happens when you just completely stop waiting. When you stop needing them to see your worth, when you stop needing them to choose you, and when you stop needing them to become who you hoped they would be. And that realization alone is both, it's freeing, but it also can feel lonely because healing separates you from the version of you that tolerated less. Let me repeat that. Healing healing separates you from the version of you that tolerated less. It separates you from dynamics that were familiar but truly unhealthy. It separates you from needing like that external validation to feel secure. And in that space, what I'm learning and what I have learned in that space, it can feel like you're alone. And not because you are alone, but because you're no longer emotionally dependent in the same type of way. There was a time in my life when I felt deeply misunderstood. Like, honestly, I felt misunderstood most of my whole entire adult life. When I felt I had to explain myself just for people to see me, to hear me, to understand me, right? To be able to connect with me. I felt like I had to explain every single thing. Also, when I held on to relationships, hoping they would eventually align, big mistake. But healing, it taught me something that changed everything, honestly. Not everyone is meant to understand your evolution because everyone is not meant to come with you. So, of course, everyone is not going to get it. And that's okay. That's okay. The moment you stop needing closure is the moment that you take your power back because your peace is no longer waiting on someone else's awareness. Absolutely not. Your healing is no longer dependent on their apology. Your growth is no longer delayed by their inability to meet you where you are. You become emotionally self-sustaining. Loneliness during healing isn't a punishment, although it can feel that way. It's transition. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming. And you guys know we talk a lot about that here on this channel. The person who you were prior to healing and the person who you are becoming on your healing journey. It's where your nervous system learns safety within yourself. It's when your identity stabilizes. And it's where peace begins. Because eventually the loneliness fades, right? Nothing lasts forever. What replaces it is peace. Also, alignment. You gain clarity and you start attracting people who don't require you to abandon yourself. People who meet you in your healed state. Also, people who recognize your value without needing to be convinced. If you're in that lonely phase right now, guys, I want you to understand something. You're not being rejected. You're being redirected. And you're not losing connection. You're creating space for alignment. And the peace that you're building now will be the foundation for everything that comes next. Okay? So keep going. Keep going. You're closer than you think. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here with me, for watching this video. I hope it resonated and brought some sort of clarity, understanding to some of you guys that may need it. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this video if you care just a little bit because somebody else may need to hear it. Oh, and turn on your notification bell so that way you know when I upload the next video. Okay, so until the next video, I love you guys. Take care. Mwah.